Have you ever faced a choice where every option felt wrong, but you had to choose anyway? Well, I have. One day at lunch, my friend quietly pulled me aside from the group. He told me this girl had asked her friend to ask him to ask me if I wanted to go to the school formal with her. Normally, I'd be happy to say yes and go as friends, but then he told me something else. She didn't really want to go just as friends. She was hoping for more, but I didn't feel the same way. I liked her as a friend, but I didn't want a relationship. So I found myself in a dilemma. On one hand, I could say yes, but then she might hope she had a shot with me. On the other hand, I could say no, but that would just feel incredibly rude, because I'd just end up going with a different female friend in our friendship circle. So there felt like there was no right answer. I realized the scenario felt familiar, this weighing of two options. I'd felt the exact same feeling before in a game. Warlock of Firetop Mountain. It's basically solo Dungeons and Dragons. The game is a remake of the solo RPG book from the 1980s. In the game, your character explores the mountain, fighting orcs, dodging traps, and trying to accomplish their goal. All the while, they travel further and further into the heart of the mountain to face off against the evil Warlock. As I played through, the number of decisions I could make was staggering. Every single tiny choice changed the game and led to a totally different outcome. But what struck me was this. Even when I felt confident that my choice was the right one, sometimes it would end in total disaster. But other times it wouldn't. There was no way for me to know the right choice unless I'd already played through that part of the game. Without this prior knowledge, sometimes what I thought was the best option, like taking the bridge, turned out badly. My character would fall through and I'd have to fight off crocodiles. So maybe paying the creepy old ferry guy to row me across the river was the right decision after all. Or maybe not. I simply don't know until I choose that choice and view the outcome for myself. Playing through the game with different characters made me realize that the path changes for everyone based on skills, knowledge, experience, and desires. So what works for someone else in life might not work for you because everyone is different and unique. Which reminds me of this one quote. Life is the most difficult exam. Most people fail because they try to copy others, without realizing that everyone has a different question paper. So when it came to deciding what to do about the girl who asked me to formal, I reminded myself that I can't see the future, or know for sure what the right answer is. And while the advice of friends can be helpful, I had to remember they're just sharing what worked for them in their own lives. They don't necessarily have the right answer either. Eventually, I found myself alone, sitting in my car just thinking, replaying in my head all the advice people had given me, weighing the options, wondering what is the right answer. After sitting there for some time, I came to the conclusion that, to be honest, I didn't want to say yes or no. Neither was really a good option. Which reminded me of my last playthrough of Firetop Mountain. In the game, my character needed to beat a monster to get a special gem for a quest, which I could do. But then it didn't matter if I went north or west. Both ways led to fighting stone statues, and my character simply wasn't powerful enough to win. So she lost again and again. Both options led to defeat. Just like how either saying yes or no to my friend could lead to miscommunication and people getting hurt. But there was actually a third hidden option in the game. By using a potion of invisibility, my character slid past unnoticed. So even though there were literally only two paths, I still had the free will to create my own path from the options and resources around me. And that's exactly how I solved my decision about my friend asking me to formal. I created my own option. I actually sat down with her and had a proper conversation. I said I'd be happy to go as friends, but I also made it clear that I wasn't interested in a relationship. I suggested we wait until closer to the event before we agreed to go as friends. That way, neither of us would end up regretting saying yes too early. And that also means if there is a guy that genuinely wants a shot at going to the formal with her, he can take his shot. Now, there's always the chance she never liked me and the info from my friend was misleading, but who knows? The important thing is this. I was honest and I didn't avoid the situation. I just found the path that felt true to me. And so I've learned an important lesson. You always have free will. Even when your options are limited, you can still make a choice, even if it's just your attitude or the way you act. After all, I can think of other options. I could have simply decided not to go with anyone, or I could have said I was already planning to go with someone else. The reason I didn't choose those options was simply because they were lies, but they were still options I could have chosen. In life, you don't have to know what the best or the right decision is, because most of the time there is no clear right answer. What truly matters is that you choose the option that most aligns with who you are and leads to the best outcome you can create, which is kind of what life's about. Making hard decisions, standing by them, and still being open to learn from whatever happens next. So, next time you're faced with an important decision, big or small, ask yourself, which choice aligns most honestly with who I am and what I truly want? Remember, every choice you make is a step on your path, a vote to who you want to become. So make sure it's a path you're willing to walk, and make sure you become the person you want to be. Keep your sword sharp. Bye bye.